Thanks for joining us in our first story. A total of 2,200 residents from 8 communities in the Shime area of the Keta municipality have been displaced by perennial floods. Some of the most affected communities include Blemazado and Dosukope. Now, residents of the affected communities are calling on government to urgently dredge the Keta Lagoon to allow free flow of water. Joy News' Ivy Setoji visited the communities and reports.
In Agobladupi community in the Keta municipality. Now, this community and other communities in the Keta municipality are flooded. Schools are closed down due to the flooding. Houses are flooded. So the only way to go to the town or to even go around the community is only by using the canoe. Now, residents of these communities are calling on government to do something urgent about the situation.
Now, we'll be speaking shortly to the municipal chief of the area, Seth Yomewu. He has been responding to concerns arising from the flood. However, Ivy has joined us on the phone with more. Ivy, when was this flood recorded? Unfortunately, we lost Ivy Setoji there on the line. Let's move to other stories still in the Volta region. The Adontehene of the Akpafu traditional area, Nana Tete, too, has stressed that his subjects will not participate in the upcoming referendum for the creation of new regions scheduled for December 27. He said ballot boxes and other logistics needed for the referendum are not welcome and will not be allowed in his traditional area. Nana Tete reiterated his objection to the addition of his lands to the proposed demarcated area for the new Oti region to be carved out of the Volta region. He was addressing the press in Akpafu Toji after a peaceful demonstration.
The Adontehene of Akpafu traditional area, Nana Tete Atu, reaffirmed the Akpafus remain in the Hohoe municipality because they toiled for its creation.
We are not prepared to go to the ballots for any referendum. Once we have not petitioned for the Oti region, those who have proposed it could do their vote, but we are not part of it. So by our constitutional rights, we are not prepared to do any vote. So I declare no vote for my people. We have our peace, so they should let us enjoy our peace.
The divisional chief of Akpafu Toji, Nana Kofiedu, believes the forceful inclusion of Akpafu lands in the Oti region, which is against the wish of the residents, will create ethnic tension.
We started hearing that we are going to Oti, so we asked. All chiefs met in 2007. There have been previous meetings to decide. So if there is any change, if there is any review of our position, we as chiefs could have been consulted. We could have been asked to come for a meeting again to review our stand. No such meeting was done. And we are hearing that one Nana Afrifa Akuamwa IV, who is claiming to be the paramount chief, is continuing to hold meetings, to hold press releases to say that Akpafu is going to Oti. We stand here to reaffirm that no meetings of that nature have been done. We are not against Oti region. We are not against them for, if they, after all, if they get a new region and there is a highway from Mempasem to Dambai, we would also walk on the highway. But we have played pioneer roles in Hohoe, and we think that it will not be fair. If we are going with Hohoe district, Hohoe municipality, we are going as brothers. We see this as a move to create ethnic and traditional tensions, and the Constitution frowns against it.
Akpafu, Lolobi, Santrokofi and Likpe are proposed to be taken out of the Hohoe municipality and added to 7 districts and municipalities in the northern Volta to make the new region. However, the Akpafus have been opposing their intended inclusion in the demarcated land area for the proposed Oti region since 1992. Traditional authorities of Akpafu explained their predecessors were not part of a group of chiefs who came up with the idea of territorial split of the Volta region. Hence, they should not be added to the demarcated area. Fred Kwame Asara's report for Joy News.
Still watching Joy News today. Let's take you back to that earlier story where some 2,200 persons in 8 communities have been displaced in the Keta municipality in the Volta region. Ivy Setoji has joined us with some more. Now, Ivy, have NADMO officials visited the affected communities yet?
Yes, the NADMO visited the affected communities yesterday and today to see what is happening, any assistance they can help with. Now, the NADMO officer, that is God knows, who says that he sent a message to the regional office so that they can get them some relief items to be given to them. The MCE for Keta, Seth Yomobu, also visited the area, and in an interview with him said he's also doing everything possible so that the issue will be solved.
Are they able to tell us how soon the persons who need relief and the persons who need assistance will be seen to?
Well, according to the NADMO officers that they say, by next week, some relief items will be given to these people, the communities, because the whole community, the affected communities, is flooded. You can only use canoe around the communities. You cannot go by foot. So,
right, I mean, let's hear the MCE now, but stay on the line for a moment. There's still a lot more to explore. Let's now hear that Municipal Chief Executive Seth Yomoru.
We should be going to that place now. We don't know what will happen, because if this flood are coming, a lot of things can happen, epidemics and those things. So we feel that they should be there when the place dry up before they come back to school. So I just want to appeal to the teachers that they know what happened. So we are just appealing to them that they should keep calm, so that at the end, when this problem is solved or this water, the flood is gone, then they go back to the school and teach our school pupils again. So that's the appeal. And I want to appeal to our parents that this thing happen. Actually, it is annual ritual, but this one we know that it is at the higher side. So we are just appealing that they should not panic. So all the situation is under control. We are trying our possible best with my NADMO staff to make sure that things go on the way it should go, so that there will not be any outbreak of epidemic.
Now, I understand that you've also been speaking with NADMO officials.
Yes, so I spoke with God knows Blabu, who is the NADMO officer in Keta, who visited the area about 2 or 3 times, who says that he sent a message to the regional office to be sent to the national office so that relief items will be given to these people by next week.
Okay, so let's hear this.
In fact, my brothers, this is very serious and a very terrible thing. As you can see here, looking at your back, you see the bus stop here. You see 1,001 people sitting there just relaxing because they cannot be in their various houses. The whole house is flooded, including their bedrooms. There's no place in the town that they can sit. That's why they are sitting here at this particular moment. So currently, as you can see, the whole town is flooded. The most permanent thing that they can do now is to dredge the source from which the water has been coming from. And when that place is being dredged down to the main lagoon, then they will not experience this sort of flooding.
So, Ivy, finally, have you been interacting with the people who have been affected? And how are they coping?
Yes, I interacted with some children who are at home because of the flooding, some residents as well. We actually went around in a particular man's house, that is Sunday Tonyava, who even took us to his bedroom, which was also flooded. We spoke with him. He lamented on what happened and the need for government or authorities to come to their aid.
So where are they living now, Ivy? Hello, Ivy, where are they sleeping now?
So right now, some of them are actually sleeping with relatives outside the communities, but some who are not able to do that are managing their homes. So when you see the video, you will see that the bedroom is flooded, but still they manage the bedroom to sleep. According to him, they cannot even sleep. They just have to lie down and see what will happen because they are scared of sleeping and because they don't know what will happen next.
Thank you very much, Ivy Setoji, for that report. Ivy came through from the Volta region. So the Ashanti region now, where 2 arrested members of the New Patriotic Party NPP vigilante group Delta Force have been slapped with 3 charges. These are conspiracy to cause unlawful damage, causing unlawful damage, and rioting. They are suspected to be part of the group which charged on a meeting chaired by Member of Parliament for Old Tafo, Dr. Anthony Akutose, because according to them, they had been ignored by the MP for months. Though the group leader said they had no intention of harming Dr. Akutose, he said they had no mercy for their constituency party executives. Here's a lawyer for the 2 speaking to the press after charges were pressed. Apologies for the poor quality of sound there. And the duo are scheduled to reappear before court on October 24. Now, let's speak with Kwesi Deborah, who has been following this case for us. Kwesi, what more do we know about these 2 who have been arrested and about investigations that police are carrying out?
Okay, Daniel, the 2 persons, that's 4 Atojina, the 2 suspects, and Richard Yalbreko first were slapped with 3 charges: conspiracy, cause unlawful damage to plastic chairs worth 1,000 cedis, unlawful damage, and the third one is rioting. And at first, the prosecutor, that's Philip Jagri, asked the court for 2 weeks to complete investigation into the matter. But unfortunately, this was not granted.
Kwesi Deborah, they're shedding some more light on this issue. These 2 have been charged with conspiring to cause unlawful damage to plastic chairs worth 1,000 cedis. We will be bringing you more on this case in later bulletins, but there's still a lot more to deal with on this bulletin. Deputy Commissioner of the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Richard Quason, says the current practice where people are handed lengthy custodial sentences for what he calls minor offenses such as stealing of goods and foodstuffs, among others, must be addressed. He has been speaking at a forum on non-custodial sentencing taking place today. We'll bring you more on that after these messages. Stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. Now, in spite of efforts by the Ghana Education Service and other civil society groups to weed out teachers who turn out to be sexual predators on their female students, the practice appears to be unending. Joy News' investigations have revealed the menace is still prevalent and forcing some girls out of schools. In the following report, Head of Investigations here at Joy News, Manasseh Azuriawuni, takes us to the Obuasi Senior High Technical School, where a 46-year-old housemaster is accused of forcibly having sex with a 17-year-old SHS1 student in his office. The practice, as Manasseh finds, is a common phenomenon in the school. In the first part of a 3-part series, he meets the student and the teacher at the center of the scandal.
She went to study during prep hours, but while her colleagues were learning, a teacher who is about 3 times her age forcibly had sex with her in his office. That's the story of Ekuya, not her real name, a 17-year-old student of Obuasi Senior High Technical School. Ekuya says the teacher, Seth Amponsa, assigned her to sweep his office and asked her to study in his office at night when students were supposed to study on their own in the classrooms. She said the teacher made sexual advances at her but failed in his first attempt.
The first time I went there for prep, he didn't touch me. It was on the second occasion. While I was in there learning, he came in and put off the light all of a sudden and began touching me. When I resisted, he put on the light and asked me if I didn't like what he was doing to me. I told him yes, I didn't like what he was doing to me. Then he apologized and left.
Equia says she confided in a teacher nicknamed Episcopal, who lived close to Mr. Amponsa's office. Anytime Mr. Amponsa came to the office at night, Episcopal would also come around so that she would be safe from any sexual harassment. One night, however, when Mr. Amponsa came and met her alone, he forcibly had sex with her.
We were together conversing when he went to lock the door and put off the light again. It appeared he was already prepared to do what he came in to do. He laid a mattress on the floor and carried me and laid me on it.
At
the time, I lost control. I couldn't scream either because I was worried about the shame that would follow. So I gave in. He was not wearing condom.
Authorities of Obuasi Senior High Technical School will not comment on the matter because it is currently being investigated at the regional level of the Ghana Education Service. The accused teacher, Mr. Seth Amponsa, will also not comment for the same reason. He has, however, confirmed a number of the issues raised by the lady in question. He denied having sex with Equia. He said some teachers of the school were envious of the many positions he held and had connived with the student to tarnish his reputation. He said even though the girl in question was beautiful, it was ridiculous to suggest that he could have sex with her in such a stuffy office when he could have taken her to a hotel or somewhere else. Apart from his denial of the sexual activity, however, he confirmed almost everything Equia told Joy News. He said he had assigned the girl to sweep his office and added that a house mistress later stopped the girl without explaining to him. He also confirmed he allowed the girl to study in his office instead of the classroom at night. He admitted he bought food from town for the girl and gave her money sometimes. Equia also said the teacher gave her an old mobile phone through which he communicated with her.
Okay, it's the last time we were class.
Since then, I started avoiding him. He came to class and asked me why he does not see me these days. I told him I wasn't well. He said, how would he then be able to inform me about the money and food he brought for me? So he gave me a small phone so that he can reach me anytime he had something for me.
So the office on my frame.
Seth Amponsa denied giving Equia the phone, but said the girl could have taken it from his office because he had seized phones from students, which he kept in his office where Equia had unfettered access. Asked why he seized phones from students but allowed this particular girl to use a phone, Mr. Amponsa said Equia often went home and he wanted to check up on her. Equia also said a senior once seized that particular phone and the teacher confronted a senior, took the phone and gave it back to her. Mr. Amponsa admitted he took the phone from the senior and gave it back to Equia. Equia has dropped out of school because of the stigma. His father, however, says he doesn't have the money to pay all over again for her to start a new school.
I
don't have the strength and money to change her school now. Even if I do, it has to be fee paying, which I can't afford.
Na I am a problem. Tisisi I say me dadwin a dameson. Sisi ebini ho.
My daughter too has lost interest and faith in the school. When you encourage her to go to the school, she will listen just out of respect. But she says anytime she gets to the school, it feels like a heavy burden.
Uye penny no kasa to be for we nim fede se matemeko and so o si school ha na bibia tiegu no so.
To another alleged crime happening in an educational institution in the Ashanti region, and police at Ifijase in that part of the country are on a hunt for 2 suspects linked to the murder of a final year student of Ifijase Senior High Commercial School. It follows the arrest of 4 current and 2 dismissed students of the school. Final year business student Derek Ajay was stabbed in the neck with a pair of scissors and later died at the hospital about 2 weeks ago. He is said to have sneaked out of campus with a friend to watch football outside when unknown persons attacked him. District Police Commander Superintendent Asare Bediako tells Insura News the suspects and their accomplices conspired and robbed the deceased and other students. Ohiming Teria reports.
The suspects in custody are Thomas Apia, Bright Ose Dankwa, Koku Asamoah, and Otukwasi Emmanuel, alias Lincoln, all of them aged 20. Otu was arrested on Thursday with the support of Iyase police. The rest are teenagers Samuel Opontia and Bright Osu Echampong. They had entered the school compound through unapproved routes, supposedly to visit their girlfriends. Police say the 4 current students called and alerted their accomplices about the presence of some colleagues outside the main walls. According to Superintendent Asare Bediako, the deceased struggled with his assailants who had ordered him to surrender money on him. He was eventually overpowered and robbed of 5 Ghana cedis, while a friend also lost 2 Ghana cedis.
They came to the school and 2 of their friends went to the girls' dormitory. So once one of the students, who is a suspect in our custody, called and told them that 2 students were coming out, so they should attack them and take whatever they have on them. And that is Emmanuel Otu and alias Lincoln, and then Isian accosted the 2 students. They had 20 from one, 20 CDs from one, so 2 CDs from one and 5 CDs from the deceased. And then the deceased, before they took the money from him, struggled, and in the process, one of them stabbed him on the collarbone.
District Commander Superintendent Asare Bediako says the 2 fugitives mean a lot to police investigations.
Double up our efforts to get other perpetrators, and we had 3 people we were pursuing. So far, we were able to arrest 1, who is Emmanuel Otu. He is very important because he and then Isian were the people who accosted the deceased, and then one of them stabbed the deceased. So he's very important.
I see. The Jabin Circuit Court, presided by His Honor A. Yusuf Esibe, has remanded the suspects into police custody to reappear on October 15, 2018. The pleas of the suspects were not taken when they appeared before the court. From Ifijase in the Ashanti region for Joy News, Ohiming Teria reports.
Still watching Joy News today, I am Daniel Dazi. Now, the Deputy Commissioner of the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Richard Quayson, says the current practice where people are handed lengthy custodial sentences for what he calls minor offences in forms such as stealing of goods and foodstuffs and others must be addressed. He has been speaking at a forum on non-custodial sentencing where the story of an inmate jailed together with her mother and sister and her little daughter, who is a few months old, was shared. Joining us is Joseph Akable, was in court and joins us on the phone with more. Joseph, tell us a bit more about this family that was jailed.
Well, so Daniel, according to the lady who was handed a 3-month sentence by a district court, she explains that together with her mother and a sister, they went to a neighbor's farm with the intention of collecting some leftover maize. The mother was just about gathering the maize when she decided to approach the owner of the farm to ask them whether they could pick them as they were doing. Just when they were getting closer, they heard the owner fire some gunshots and realized that the owner's colleagues on the farm had actually apprehended the mother and the sister, so she had to join them, and they were subsequently taken to court and handed the 3-month jail term. Now, the concern here is that she is a mother of 5, while her mother also has 6 children. Now, she says currently they don't have anyone to take care of these children who are at home, and they don't know who is taking care of them, who is providing their basic needs for them. Aside from that, too, the bit about the fact that the sister, who is also breastfeeding the child, was also jailed together with them. So those are the issues that they brought up to this particular forum. And the Deputy Commissioner believes it is one case in point where they are not justifying stealing, but the point he's making is that why should custodial centers be the answer? So issues of community service that can be handed to people as a punishment could be enforced rather than necessarily keeping them in custody, where we are told that about 60% of the budgetary allocation to the prison service is spent solely on providing for the needs of prisoners. But the Chief Justice has also been reacting to this particular story. He thinks it's a matter that can be resolved within 48 hours if the necessary legal action is indicated at a high court that has supervisory jurisdiction over the district court that gave this particular sentence. So she's urging them to seek that redress to the court where she thinks the remedy will be immediate. Now,
Akable, tell us a bit more about this forum where these persons have been speaking.
Well, so it is all about non-custodial sentence. We are told that the first time that discussion started, it started sometime back in 2004. And the conversation centers around the need to have some form of alternate punishment in place so that when people commit crimes that the state believes that those crimes are not crimes that require their liberty to be limited, to be restrained, we can put them to good use by perhaps punishing them through the means of collecting waste in the society or other forms of sentences that the court would deem necessary. The concern by the key players in this particular discussion has been that why do you want to burden the state so much by sending the individuals to the prisons? In fact, they've been giving some statistics, and we are told that a total of 15,000 individuals are currently in various prisons across the country. What is interesting about that figure is that the capacity that we have currently in our prisons is in the region of 13,000. So you have more than 3,000 overcrowding situation created as a result of a lot of sentences that are being given. We are told that the Justice for All program in itself is helping reducing these numbers, but yet the numbers are so high because you have a lot of people being handed custodial sentence for minor offences such as stealing of goods, among others. These are the words of the Deputy Commissioner, not my Daniel.
Thank you very much, Joseph Akable, for that report. Now, finally, before business, persons with hearing impairment are often unable to communicate with their neighbors, and whereas fathers and mothers are unable to understand their children's hopes and fears. Dennis Darko, a young man we call a friend of the deaf, has taken it upon himself to teach the hearing how to communicate with the deaf in his community. He recently got awarded as the Excellent Deaf Teacher Award after Joy News told his story in 2018.
Last year, we brought you a story of how a young man is standing up for the deaf in his community.
I was just trying to learn something by myself, and I was the first person to come out from the out of 20 students. So when he left, I was still teaching the other 19 students who I was with. We had a little problem because it was like, I don't know that much, so they were just scattering, refusing to come to class. He told me something that if I'm able to find a deaf person, that person can help me to learn more of the sign language. So just say I was one day sitting here learning my song. Before I raised my head up, someone was looking at me. I was like, why? And he asked me, am I deaf or hearing? I said, no. Then he started coming here.
Months later, after the stress and hassle, Dennis Darko won the Excellent Deaf Teacher Award for 2018. Although he says a lot of work needs to be done to help the deaf community in Ghana, he's optimistic about his future.
This award, in fact, it really has inspired me in that. Way back, I was having this feeling that, what am I even doing at all? But when I was nominated, and even especially today, I'm very happy that I have more things to do and I need to really improve on what I'm doing and spread it wide. For the past 10 years, we were not having a lot of interpreters, yeah. And as at now, even it is improving, even though it's not becoming fast or regularly. As an example is, even in our parliament, we don't have interpreters for the deaf. When there's national programs, we don't have interpreters for the deaf. You have to watch it home with the deaf and interpret on TV for the deaf. Deaf culture is being promoted, even though by those who understand them. Out of the majority because of the majority. Majority don't even understand it. When someone sees you with a deaf person, they have different impression about you. Deaf culture is not something hard. It's just the way that we live. I always count myself with them.
Congratulations to Dennis, but it's time to hear from Odelia. She brings us business.